The amount of conviction that you put into something is directly correlated to what you're going to get out of it. If you are trying to manifest a new reality, if you're trying to manifest a person, place, thing, idea, if you're trying to manifest a business, if you can't hang on to the conviction that you have in that goal, then you are not going to achieve that goal. Because see, whenever you are manifesting, whenever you're creating anything, you are putting yourself into a new identity. Every second of every single day is manifested. And that manifestation takes place from your conviction that it's going to happen. Conviction can be as simple as raising your right arm. That's all manifestation is. Because you got to understand that you are a reflection of God. You are a microcosm of the macrocosm. You are a tiny piece of the great infinite reflecting itself. So you reflect what the infinite sees itself to be. You are a single identity experiencing all of consciousness. Everything is consciousness of God because God is everything. God is that divine creative spirit flowing through everything. So every single moment of every single day is given to you by God. That's why people worship God. That's why people praise God, because every single thing is given to them by God. Even raising your right arm. Something as simple as raising your right arm is manifest because you have simple conviction that you will raise your right arm. You know that you will. You don't need to think about it. You don't need to force it. You simply just will raise your right arm. There's been stories, however, though, of hypnotists hypnotizing people, telling them that they cannot move their right arm, and their right arm is incredibly heavy. And under that hypnosis, the person believes that. And since they believe that, it becomes incredibly difficult for them to raise the right arm. Now, obviously, they're in a state of deep sleep, but their subconscious is being programmed to believe that it's hard to move the right arm. But we're not like that. Our subconscious believes that it's easy to move the right arm. And so as long as your subconscious believes that something is easy to do, then it will be easy to do. Because the subconscious is the dictator of everything, and whatever you are putting into your subconscious is what you're going to get out of it. If you believe that something is going to be difficult, then it will. That's not to say that you're not going to achieve it, though. It's just going to be harder to achieve. How far you go is directly correlated to your conviction. Whether you believe that it's going to be hard or not does not matter. How much conviction are you putting into it? And also, if you want it to be easy, how much conviction are you putting into the fact that it'll be easy? Because conviction, faith, your belief is everything. And since your faith is everything, your life is created through faith. What are you putting your faith into? Are you putting your faith into that life is going to be hard? Are you putting your faith into that life is going to be easy? Are you putting your faith into the fact that life is what you make it? You need to start putting your faith into that, because then you'll start to realize that you are infinite. You'll start to realize the infinite power that you have to control your reality. And the amount of difficulty that you give something, the amount of difficulty you think that something is going to be directly related to the subconscious. Therefore, it's going to be just that much difficult to achieve that thing. As I said with the hypnosis example, the hypnotist told the person that they had a hard time raising the right arm. The subconscious therefore believed that. Therefore, it was hard to raise the right arm. And you need to understand something else. That client or that person who was being hypnotized, they could have tried to force their right arm up. But do you realize that force isn't going to work on a person being hypnotized? You need to take this lesson and apply that to your goals. Do you realize that force, trying to force an outcome, will never create the outcome that you want? Force is going to take you to something similar to that, but it's not going to take you to what you actually want to be. Because force, the thing about forcing something is that it tells your subconscious that you actually do not have it. Because what does force mean? Force means that you need to become something that you're not in order to achieve something. But manifestation only happens from what you are. Manifestation comes from what your identity is. Everything is reflected of your inner state. So whatever your inner state is, that is what you're going to manifest. And if your inner state is aligned that you need to force an outcome in order to achieve it, then that's exactly what it's going to be. You're going to be struggling and you're going to be fighting and you're going to be clawing your way to get there the entire time. But who wants to do that? Who in this great earth would want to force an outcome? Wouldn't you rather just believe in its existence? Wouldn't you rather just believe that it's possible to happen? Wouldn't you rather just believe in yourself? Wouldn't you rather just give yourself the confidence that you need in order to get there? Because that's truly all that you need. If you have the confidence, if you have the belief that you're going to get there, then you will. So as long as you put that conviction forth every single day and act out the reality that you want to be in. Because obviously you can't just wish something into existence. It takes the spiritual plane, the mental plane, and the physical plane to truly manifest your reality. It starts in the mental plane. The mental plane is the most important. You need to align your frequency with the mental plane of the thing of that which you want to be. So if you want to have $1 million, you need to believe that you have $1 million. And I'm not saying forcing a belief. You need to genuinely believe that you have $1 million. Now that might seem daunting right now, but here's a simple way to do it. First, you need to understand that you are one with the divine, infinite, creative spirit. And because you are one with the infinite, divine, creative spirit, you are connected to all given realities. Because the infinite, divine, creative spirit, the universe, God, source, is the embodiment of everything. And since the universe, God, source is the embodiment of everything, you are a branch of that thing. You are a part of that infinite, divine, creative spirit. Therefore, you are able to put yourself into any reality that you want. It's not about forcing that reality. It's not about forcing an outcome, because forcing will only re-identify to you that you are lacking in it. If you're living in lack, people who live in lack force things. People who live in lack force an outcome. You know where force comes from? Force comes from the ego. And any manifestation created from ego will collapse upon itself. And it will never last. Because if you manifest from ego, let's say you manifest $1 million only out of ego, only out of force, forcing it to happen. The reason that you wanted that $1 million in the first place was maybe to be respected, maybe to have peace of mind, maybe to have peace of self. But if you force that from the ego, then you're never truly going to achieve peace of mind. You're never truly going to achieve peace of self, because it came from the ego. It never came from your spirit. And the moment that you get that $1 million, you're just going to be looking at the next best thing. And it's going to be a constant chase of external circumstances. What's the next best thing that I can find? What can I find next? And it's just going to be a constant chase of something that you'll never attain. Because you need to realize manifestation from the spirit means that you are aligning yourself with that thing internally. And if you align yourself with that feeling that you want internally, then you're going to live out that feeling. Therefore, that manifestation will be brought to you with ease. And if you just simply live in the desired state, live in the end, then that thing has no other choice but to come to you. But you need to realize that whenever you live in the end, you need to be in a calm, serene state. Because if you actually did have your desired reality, what would you be doing? Would you be chasing? Would you be stressing about getting it? Would you be worrying about having it? No, you wouldn't. You would not be worrying about having $1 million if you had $1 million, because you already have it. You need to align your thoughts, you need to align your emotions, your perception, your awareness, your reactions to that as if you already have it right now in this exact moment. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Your thoughts, perception, your actions, your awareness, your reactions, emotionally charged thoughts. These things is what it takes to align yourself in your new reality easily. And once you align yourself in your new reality, you're going to attain it. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of having patience and staying calm. Because so many people, they try to manifest and it doesn't happen overnight. And then they start stressing. They start worrying. Like, oh my God, did I do it right? Of course you're not going to get it because you're worrying about it. If you had the ability to worry about it in the first place, then you were never going to get it to begin with. Because manifestation means that you don't need to worry about it because you already have it, and you know that you already have it because you are aligned with the divine creative spirit that flows through you. So once you know that you already have it, it's only a matter of time before it comes to you. So that's the last thing that you need to worry about is time, when it's going to happen. So many people try to measure their external circumstances as the end-all be-all. But manifestation truly only takes place in the brain. Once you manifest a new frequency within your brain, you have already manifested it. The only issue is that people look at their external circumstances and they tell themselves, look at all this. I don't have it yet. I don't have it. Well, of course you don't have it. It's because you're looking around yourself and you're reminding yourself that you don't have it. But all manifestation is the change of frequency in your brain, in the mental plane. The mental plane is the most important plane when it comes to your manifestations. You have the mental plane, which is in the middle. You have the spiritual plane, which is above that. And then you have the physical plane, which is the lowest. In the spiritual plane, that is where your karma happens. That is where your deepest unconscious behaviors are going to help to manifest into reality. And that's why you pray to God. That's why people pray to God. And a great way to hack into the spiritual plane is to meditate. Go into a deep state of relaxation and imagine what you want. Feel the emotion that you already have what you want. Because the emotion is the secret. Your emotion that you have is exactly what's going to be manifested for you. And that's why I tell you to walk in a state of serene confidence. If you're constantly walking in a state of stress, anxiety, worry that everything is going to crumble around you and you're not going to achieve anything, you're not going to get anything that you want, then you're going to manifest realities that reinforce that idea, because the internal state that you have within you is what's going to be reflected into the external reality. So learn how to walk with serene confidence and conviction that you will get there. And so often I work with people that say they can't manifest these things. And so often it's because they're looking at their external circumstances and they're seeing all these things and they're telling themselves like, oh, I don't have it yet. And then they just remind themselves mentally and they go back to square one. They go back to their old identity. That's why you need to be convictioned. You need to have conviction. Conviction in the next step. Because understand this. Your old reality, your old identity, is a living spiritual being that wants to stay alive. And that spiritual being does not want to die. It wants you to keep living the way that you're living because you are giving that being energy. Look at it like this. You don't have your beliefs. Your beliefs have you. Your beliefs have you. Eddie. Stay calm. It's okay, buddy. Your beliefs don't want you to achieve what you want. The beliefs of your old identity don't want you to achieve what you want, because these beliefs are spiritual entities. These are angels. These are demons that are discussed in the Bible. There's many, infinite amounts of angels. And we each have our own angels and our own demons formed from the thoughts that we give to ourselves. If we believe that there's an external influence shaping our reality, then there is an external influence shaping our reality. Does that make sense? We give power to every single thing that we give power to. We give power to our beliefs. That's why I say you don't have your beliefs have you. And that's why your beliefs want to stay alive. Your old identity wants to stay alive. Because these beliefs, they want to keep going. They don't want to be killed. Your beliefs, they don't want to be killed. But you need to kill your beliefs. You need to kill the ego. That's what it means to kill the ego. It means to go from one point of reality to the next. Your beliefs manifest your life. These are spiritual beings. Your beliefs are projected from the mental plane into the spiritual plane. And those beliefs can be left here on the physical plane. That's why we have ghosts. That's why we have demons that lurk around in old buildings that have a lot of emotional energy that have happened there in the past, because that emotional energy was left behind by someone. See, whenever you give emotional energy to a certain place, idea, or thing, you cast a spirit over that thing. Just as whenever you think negatively of someone, you cast a demon over them, and you begin to see them in the way that's negative. The emotion that you give to something is the outcome that you're going to create of it. And genuinely, it doesn't matter if you think positively or negatively when it comes to manifestation. You can think negatively, but all it takes is for you to realign your identity to have that thing that you want to have. So I want to get back to that. You don't have your beliefs have you. Because your beliefs, they control you. Your beliefs shape your reality. Because of your beliefs, you will either do this or that. Because of your beliefs. The whole point of this life, the whole point of this existence is to defy our beliefs and create new ones. However, like I said, these beliefs are spiritual entities and they want to remain. That's why you need to emotionally charge yourself with conviction that you're going to move into the next reality that you want to. And whenever you do that, whenever you know how to use conviction, when you know how to use faith, the world is yours. And you are truly infinite. Because what is infinite? To truly understand infinity, you'll understand that you are a part of that infinite, and you are a microcosm of the macrocosm. Therefore, because you are a part of this macrocosm, because you are a part of this infinite plane of existence, you are able to shift your reality into any single thing that you want to. I'm not saying you could become a blade of grass. That would take a great alchemical spiritual change. I'm not going to say it's impossible either, but I'm not going to say it's possible. Because every single thing that is said on this physical plane of existence is a half-truth. Every single thing that I tell you is in accordance with my own mind. And it's in accordance with every single thing that I've learned. You're only picking up on the bits and pieces that you, within your frequency, are aware of. There could be person A watching this, and there could be person B watching this. And they're picking up on two completely different things that I'm saying. The meaning that one person gives this video is an entirely different meaning from the next person, because you can only understand your frequency. Listening to me is like listening to your frequency. It's listening to what you already know. So anyway, I hope this helps. Subscribe for more. I'm doing one-on-ones. I've worked with a lot of people at this point. And we're making great progress, man. I've started this business in the past month or so, and I've already helped one of my clients start his business, and it's going great. And so yeah, I'm really happy about that. But if you guys are interested, I'm booking one-on-one calls. Click on the link below, and I'll see you there. Thank you.